was a sense of peace around the thoughts I was having prior to the program.
That's nice.
That cycle of awareness, growing awareness.
Aldine?
For me, it was this whole idea of aging your soul, and the idea that we came here to be able to experience joy in many different forms. And that's what the meditation brought for me. I kept on hearing age your soul, and then I kept on hearing find joy. And so in that, I understood that our whole goal here is to figure out, as we are shown these different opportunities, to figure out which one will bring us joy. And sometimes what'll happen is there are forks in the road that you choose to take, which is totally fine, because you're just seeking joy. Anyway, that's what I thought when we had the meditation. Thank you for the
Interesting.
meditation.
Joy. Seeking joy. Always, right? Always seeking joy. On our planet at this time is a we formulating the cycle of the third dimensional thought. Your planet, our planet, is an example of two cycles merging at a certain level. The cycle of your current day vibration and that of the Lemurian, and it's in highest at its highest. The Lemurian vibration was more aligned with the fourth dimensional evolution. Again, Carol reminds us not to get involved with the numbers of the dimension, but for it is for sure to confuse more than enlighten. Even though we currently discover much of our world thinking in the duality of the third dimension, we will soon know that our thoughts form every fiber of our journey, and in that you will see the bond between the worlds. The Lemurian weave of the fourth dimension cycle was so electrified with the magnetic impulse that it allowed for the evolution of tremendous rate. It allowed for evolution of a tremendous rate of awakening. So I love this part, but aren't you feeling the merging within yourself, the third and the fourth? You find yourself trying to narrow the divide between dualities, your thoughts of dualities and things like that. I'm finding that, trying to bring everything into balance.
I'm going to explain it this way. The time frame of the merging is the time frame it takes for me to go from being upset about what I observe or experience to coming to the level of compassion, understanding, and love gets shorter and shorter. So in that sense, it's the weaving of the different dimensions of understanding. So
Cool.
yeah, because I realized as I was home, I realized a lot of my judgments, when I really think about it, it's about judgment of self. Initially, it's about why did he, she, they do this, and then it's what's going on that I'm seeing it in that perspective. So that's where I thought of Master Kirill said, okay, see the love in everything. And so when I see the love, then I go to the dimension, the fourth and the fifth dimension of love. So then I can no longer, then I release the judgment of being upset with the other person, the other event. And so that time frame gets shorter and shorter.
That makes sense.
That is true. You know, I was just last week. I was summoned for jury duty, and I was in that predicament too. You know, trying to, who am I to judge what a person did? In 2019, you know, this young man, and I couldn't do that. So I was racking my brains and trying to figure out how to get out of it. But then my goddess light said, no, it's not about trying to get out of it, trying to understand it. And to know whether you can be really fair to this young man. You know, so 2 days I stood, I listened to the questions, and I'm going, oh my God. I was racking my brain, okay, I don't want to be here, you know, but then the goddess light within us within me said, you cannot process your thinking the old way. You got to do it in the goddess light. So in the end, I was called to be a potential alternate number 2. But because I knew how to answer all the questions, because I was there 2 days, I was ready for the question. And my thoughts were like, okay, I don't really want to be here, but if I had to be here, then there was a purpose. So, and I gave it up to my universe. And when I was called as potential juror number 2, and when they asked me the question, I said, may I approach the bench? So I gave my excuse to the judge, and right away she accepted it. Why? Because of the truth. God, I think the truth, and I don't know how to make this part of the cycles of life. Maybe in the thinking is part of the process of thinking through what I had to do to be in the God's light, to be fair to this young man who probably didn't know what he was doing, you know, because he looked really young. So, but that wasn't the most important. The most important was my truth, and that's all. I think that's what I got out of the whole experience. So, in that 2 days, as I was part of the jury selection, I knew more about what the Goddess Light does and who I am as I venture into knowing my Goddess truth. So this is what this cycle of, I think January we started off with the cycle of the sixth sense, and because of your shares, I got to understand the cycles of life better. Even if I didn't consciously know it in the brain, somehow my heart knew that this was going on, and my heart kind of fed it to my brain. So that was interesting. So to be aware that there's a cycle going on made me more at peace, because even though I don't understand, there must be other influence that's going on within our life that's causing this situation in my life now. And I think that's what goes on with everybody, whether it's sickness or what, illness, everything. And I know because of that, you know, Master Kahu and Master Kira always said everything can be healed in love. Yeah, I know that at a new level. Everything can be healed in love with in love. And we call it sometimes, yeah, we call it a miracle, but it's not a miracle. When you understand the wholeness of who you are, the cycles is part. Knowing that there's a cycle that's influencing our walk here and here on earth, gave me peace and tranquility. And the fun part is trying to discover, okay, so what cycle is playing now in my life? So that's the interesting part. Since January, we're talking about cycles. And this time, the question today is, can we release the DNA the DNA codes regarding aging, puberty, menopause, and the length of time action within the body with signature cell. And would you be able to read Master Carol's
Sure.
answer?
Sure. I'd be happy to do that. I have to take off my glasses. Can we release the DNA codes regarding cycles of aging, puberty, menopause, and the length of timed action within the body with the signature cell healing? Yes, because the signature or God cell is the activity part of you, the central force, and everything moves out from there. Understand that within the very makeup, within the very framework of your vibration, you bring code after code after code within these cycles. Every cycle is made up of a numbered code. They are not just particles, they are numbered particles. So every time you suggest the possibility of a menstrual cycle, a cold cycle, every time that you look within the makeup of the physical expression, you recognize the beat of Mother Earth. You recognize the focus of the earth as it unites its forces within you and outside of you. You recognize that you are so fully connected to a vibrant system of particleization, energy moving in a cycle of awareness, awakening its truth to the signature cell, awakening its truth to you being known to the creator force, not just of, but part of the creator force.
How does this make you feel?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh,
This first paragraph that you read.
okay, I begin to see the cycle of our third dimension in a very esoteric form. I begin to see a movie where there are these creator forces that want to be able to give experiences to a conglomeration of energy forces, to allow those energy forces, again in my mind says, to age their soul. And so in this movie, what happens is these creator beings create us. So our full DNA makeup and everything, they create us. And then they ask us if we would like to engage in the excitement of playing within this third dimension. And that this third dimension is different than all the 27 or whatever dimensions there are. And that we said, yeah, that sounds like fun, let's try it. But of course, when we're here, we forgot we said that because it's like, but anyway. And so we were given the human internal soft technology that I talked about before, that's in all of us. And that awareness, it's always there. And as we move along and begin to understand ourselves better, to age our soul, then we can understand that there is truth in our human internal soft technology. And then we start trusting that truth, and we can move from that truth. So that little feeling that you get because so and so, should I call so and so? Should I not call? I'm going to call so and so. You call so and so, and they say, "Oh, I've been thinking about you." That is human internal soft technology. That is meant to happen. That is something that you always have in you. So, if this is human internal soft technology, might we be living in a world of hard technology?
And which is that?
Might this world actually say our operating system is belief, say our hardware is the way the planet is made and the matter that we have, and I mean there are a lot of different scenarios that you can create, and that's why nowadays, very much similar to that whole Matrix movie, there is a lot of discussion about us being in a simulation. And I think it might not be a simulation in what we understand, because our understanding is probably not at the level of that we need in order to fully comprehend what's going on. But I like the idea.
Yeah.
I like the idea that we are here to participate in a process to allow us to constantly seek joy. And then the joy actually is to seek love.
What got me is it gave me chicken skin. I think the last sentence here in the paragraph that you just read. You recognize that you're fully connected to a vibrant system of particularization, energy moving in a cycle of awareness, awakening its truth to signature self, awakening its truth to you being known as to the creative force, not just of, but part of the creative force. Chicken skin just went all over me, and I now understand the limitless potential of human beings, the awakened human beings. So thank you for that. Susanna, would you like to read the second paragraph? Oh, you want to add to that?
As I was listening to Aldine and just reading that section you read, I thought, and what you shared about, speaking your truth to the judge, is do I feel comfortable sharing my own truth? Do I feel comfortable sharing my self-discovery of who I am? Because being in the field of education and a mental health profession, there's an external force, be it societal, cultural, political, you name it, that had set these patterns of behaviors, the shoulds and shouldn'ts. And because of all of these, I doubt my own truth. And children doubt their own truth. And then they grow up holding on to this other so-called truth, because adults say this is the truth. But we don't go into the internal soft technology of realizing what is my truth and how does it fit with this truth. And because I just think is that this statement, awakening its truth in the signature self, awakening its truth that you are being known to the creative force and you are a creative force.
Well,
how am I living?
This is what I came to realize, because when I was in a jury selection pool, there's all kinds. There's many people from different
Awesome.
levels of life, you know. And I think when you know your truth, the goddess truth, without any question, you will always attract. Of course, you don't, you don't go into the middle of, like a kindergarten class and express your truth in a goddess. Like, no, they won't understand. They won't. It's on this level, right? On a certain level. But I feel that when you come from your goddess truth, everyone will accept it. They might not know it here, but they will know it here, and they won't question. That's what I learned from being in a closed room with so many people coming from different backgrounds. I was amazed. I was really amazed, and it wasn't my place to spread my goddess light to everyone. It was my place to just know the truth about my goddess light, and whoever was attracted to my goddess light came to me. I didn't go to them because I knew all these. I think that's the way the third dimensional is. We cannot change people because they're on their own journey. We don't. If we judge someone to say, oh, she's sick because of this, then let me shine some goddess light. I don't think, to me, that's right. To me, that's not right anymore. All I have to do is express my truth to that person who is sick, and hopefully they will get the vibes in their hearts and say, hey, there's other possibilities. And that's what this first section, this other possibility, this first paragraph was confirmed to me that when you know your goddess truth, you don't have all this thing about, oh, will they accept me, will they not? This group will accept you, this group won't. And Kahu was like that. That's why he stayed silent whenever we went to a family function, because he knew that he was wasting his voice. He knew that if he forced his belief system on them, it's going to go to deaf ear. But you know who? The ones that they don't even know, the ones that could resonate to his truth, they won't say it, but they're attracted to it. So I think that's what this paragraph confirmed to me. So isn't that cool? You just have to be yourself. Like to say the cliche, be yourself, be in love.
What I thought about is my own experience in one of my jury duty sessions, where I was, like you, the second alternate, and it was a domestic violence case. And I kept hearing, you need to make a decision based on the law.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I go, I am doing my civic duty. I must do my civic duty. And this is a privilege to do my civic duty, but something was bothering me, and based on the law. And when I was there and I was asked that question by the judge, I came out saying, no, I can't. And it just came out. And he looked at me and said, you can't make a sound decision based on the law? And I said, no, because I don't believe the law supports domestic violence survivors and their family. And he looked at me and he was quiet. And then he looked at the records and go, oh, okay, you should work for this agency. And I said, so I apologize, I can't. That was my truth. And as I'm listening to today, I'm thinking, at that moment it was my truth. But I just thought about what you said. How did my share, affect anybody else in that room? Has the law changed? Has somebody changed? Did they change? And to me, I'm hoping that it just opened their minds that maybe we need to look at this differently. But then I said, it doesn't matter whether it affected anybody else in the room.
Right.
What it mattered is that I spoke my truth.
Right.
And somewhere along the way, I truly believe that somebody heard it and resonated in their hearts. And that's how I feel like when each of us, whether we say we're goddess or not, whether we say we're spiritualists or not, that when we come from our truth, it affects another person. And that was the closing remark in this last part of the chapter, is that we are not alone, that we are connected.
Right.
So that, and it's it's almost like what I choose to do, how I choose to respond or react. And if I choose love, I know it'll speak to the love of the other person, even though they come across, belligerent or angry or whatever. So that is the truth of Master Kyrillos that I'm holding. Because he talked, and Kava talked about it's all about love, and I'm going, but what if this, and what if that, and
So
I'm just
now
going,
do you know? Now do you know?
I have an expanded awareness of that. Not to say that I'm not going to get upset, when something happened, but in that expanded awareness, the time frame from when I am angry to going to this place of I understand, I choose love. It gets shorter and shorter.
Well, what does that mean? I understand, I choose love. What does that mean to you?
That I understand that there's another perspective beside my perspective. I'm choosing to see the situation in a more positive, loving way. I'm releasing my own judgment so I can see and understand a different perspective. That's the way I explain choosing love. It's because Master Krill said everybody is creator light.
Yeah.
And I know Gail and I used to have conversations about this, and the typical was Hitler has creator light within. He's of the creator, and I just could not get that.
Well, you thought the creator light was,
Loving light.
so
Yeah.
now what do you understand of the creator light?
That he created based on what he believed is the best for him and the best for the people he was with. And he created according to what he thought would be best. And so, even though I disagree with that, because I have a different set of belief system and value system, I can say, as I'm thinking this, I'm feeling like I don't know if I could say that truthfully, but I understand the concept of creation and where the concept of creation originates. So I still don't like the behaviors that I saw at the time, but I understand why the decisions were made that way. And then I also understand why I choose to work with the value system I have now.
But do you understand, well, this is not, do you understand? That's not. I feel that Hitler and all of those that have come before fighting the system had to come that way for we the people to choose to evolve their own light. So it had to take a Hitler for people to be aware, to choose, and to choose love. And even those people then who chose love couldn't get away from the will of Hitler. And so, yeah, that's where I say Who am I to judge? Because I'm not. See, the worth to me, the worth. We're all, and you know, we're all in. You can call that a cycle. Those kind of people, like Hitler, comes once in a while, right? To to change people's thinking. That's what I feel. It's a cycle, and if you it's a cycle, and you have that always within the country, within the universe, within who knows, you know, like the space beings. A lot. They changed our human thinking a lot, right? So we never know. So I think for me, I would like to concentrate just based on what my belief system now, and my thought about the my thinking of the God force is so different from when I first started this journey of awakeness. So to me, my thought is my God. You know, whatever I think, it is. Whatever I put the passion in that thought, it is. So that's Kahuin Masakura says everything can be healed in love. And I really truly believe in that. I used to say, what does that mean? Everything can be healed in love. But now I know a little bit more. And so we can move forth and say, yeah, we can say that to other people. We don't even have to say it. Our energy just flows to them. And whether, you know, while I was in jury duty, whether my goddess truth affected other people, it didn't really matter to me. It didn't really matter to me because I knew I came from my truth. So, yes, there were people that was attracted to me. You know, even though they said don't talk to each other, but people was attracted to me. So yes, and I honored their presence. So I think that's what a goddess light does. And so would you like to read the second paragraph?
That force is prevalent. It is that most magnetic force of energy that opens up its journey to the livingness of light itself. Not life, but light. You recognize the beauty of your own vibration. You recognize that you are the beat of all senses, of all the sensations, of all the potentials. You begin to recognize that you're one and a part of all that is. It simply means that you are already gliding on the path of cells that are constantly evolving in their own cycled love.
So that's cool, yeah?
Yeah, I was thinking about my own physical healing at that when I read that earlier. That everything about them becomes one fourth. You try your best to separate yourself out of that so you can feel as though you are not alone or saddened or misguided. But the cells within that are causing these cycles of energy will not let you. They'll fight you till the very death to let you know that they are part of the whole.
So there's an inner struggle that's going on within us.
I had to laugh at that part because I was seeing the aches and pains as separate. And I kept hearing this, my toe knows what's going on with my knee and my shoulder. So love your toe too. You know. So then, you know, it's all part of the whole. And it's what is the whole, which is the central part. Came to the conclusion is that part of me, that internal soft technology, which I'm going to label the energy of love, self-love and self-compassion, that says, you know, it's not separate. You know, when I do something with my feet, I feel it I realize, oh, I felt it in my brain. And my first thought was, wait, I was just focusing on my toe and my foot. And I thought that was quite interesting. That was quite a manifestation of, see what we mean? So, this was fun. to read over and over again, as well as a little bit disheartening at some times because of my own self-judgment, you know. But when I laugh, then I come to a different awareness, you know, so, yeah. Any shares, Gail?
These are fabulous. Do we have any people there? How about you, Aldine? How does this paragraph make you feel?
I go back to our structure and how your heart is the strongest biomagnetic force in your body, and how if you harmonize your heart and your brain, what you do is you maximize the options that are provided to you when you look at situations. And if you constantly do that, it is, I think anyway, it's easier to make a decision, it's easier to make a choice, it's easier to say this is in alignment with my truth and move forward without second guessing yourself.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I read this paragraph. It's again, it's the entanglement, the holographic nature that we have. It is this human internal soft technology that we have. It is a movement away from conflict and competition to collaboration, a movement to an idea of let's harmonize, let's balance, let's allow different perspectives to come out. It allows us to pause and say, oh, I never thought of it that way. I mean, all of those things to me are very exciting. It's a very exciting thing. And so as we live, there are a lot of opportunities to express your excitement and then move to joy. And sometimes those opportunities are to question what was said, or to question more about a particular concept that someone presents, or to provide your alternate idea on the same topic. And that's fun too, because it's okay. They can think totally different from you, and that's okay. Because for you, that's your truth, and you're okay.
I'm okay, you're okay. We used to say that.
Yeah,
I'm okay, you're okay. The acceptance of differences.
yeah. So it's fun. It's fun.
So your life is much more fun now?
It's pretty much always been fun, but it's fun. I like being able to figure out how to express what my beliefs are. And like Kahu, I don't always express it in a group that I feel wouldn't understand.
Yeah, you're good at that.
I was in this big meeting in the hospital that I was working at. And in this big meeting, one of the things we were doing is planning for the next 5 years and what kind of concepts, and we're really on a conceptual level, what kind of concepts should we interject into our thought process in order to allow us to move forward in the next 5 years. And I said, there were maybe 150 people. I said, I think we need to recognize that every person has 4 bodies, and I worked in a hospital. And the 4 bodies are physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And I think because I put that spiritual part in, I could tell, although it was like pin drop quiet, and I had no microphone, didn't need any. And I said, once we understand that the patients that arrive here all have 4 bodies, we will be better to serve them and provide them with healing. And then somebody else said, oh, I think Aldine the president of the hospital, I think Aldine wants this president of the hospital to have a girlfriend or something like off the wall. And so I pulled back and smiled because I made them uncomfortable. And because they were uncomfortable, I was getting comments that kind of made me understand that they weren't ready for how I was saying things.
Right.
So I just let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't have any emotional reaction.
Yeah, I just
Tearjerker
let it go.
reaction. Yeah.
Because I knew that was the truth. It was my truth, but it was the truth. And once our medical system understands that, and not just work on this symptom and that symptom, but everybody comes with 4 bodies, they'll not be able to heal a person completely. And everybody can be healed, but that's recognizing that they have 4 bodies. So I mean,
however, that system is not making money that way. They're just, trying to heal the relieve the symptoms, and not the core truth of the symptoms. So, yeah, I like this part where it says, now I understand my inner struggle, because right here, when you begin to recognize that you're one and a part of all that is, it simply means that you are already gliding on a path of cells that's constantly evolving in their own cycle. I couldn't believe that. You mean my cells was not in sync with what I was thinking?
and that's because you are evolving your human internal soft technology. You're constantly getting upgrades. And so you have to kind of like wait a little while so all the upgrades connect, and then you can move forward.
So then you're saying that my experience, or 2 days experience as a potential juror, I learned a lot, and so I got the code, and it was for my upgrade.
Yes.
How cool is that?
Yes, it's your upgrade.
You know who I thought of when I read this section? I thought of Peter, because we loved each other, we respected each other, and our viewpoints in terms of education and mental health were similar. But when it came to the spiritual healing realm, we had different viewpoints. And it was kind of like I would explain to him, well, Kahu said this, Master Curl said this. He goes, you're always talking about that. But over the years, I saw his evolution to the point that he was on this, already gliding on the path of cells that were constantly evolving in their own cycled love.
Yeah.
To the point that when the doctor told him, when he hurt his neck, and the doctor says no more surfing. This vertebrae and that vertebrae, da 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 da, and he goes, no, I love surfing. I'm going to keep surfing. And he discovered that if he touched a point in the back of his head, on the top of his neck, that he could relieve the pain. And he continued surfing till his last day on Earth. And that is an example of how he was gliding on the path of cells that were constantly evolving. I didn't have to say, you're touching your vagus nerve. I didn't have to say that. He discovered it on his own. And as he got more results, then I said, Kahu talked about the importance of activating the vagus nerve. And lo and behold, he said, "Are you going to sign up for the signature cell healing
Uh-huh.
workshop?" And he was one of the first to sign up, you know. And this was, 8 months before he passed. And it was kind of like that's an example of how the evolving cycles of awareness in terms of the four body system. And I just, and now it's, he's very much involved in healing and in his spiritual light.
I think it was funny that you share that story because soon after his death, I came here to the healing bowl, and I saw him pacing out there, pacing back and forth. That's after he died, pacing, and he tells me, "Come on, open the door. I gotta learn signature cell healing." I'm like, "You gotta learn signature cell healing." That's something that he wasn't complete on. It was really cool to see that image, because I can talk to spirits.
Yeah.
He's so pacing back and forth. I gotta go. I have to learn signature cell healing. I want to say, too late, buddy. Next lifetime. No.
But it was an internal soft technology, and ourselves know the path. So he was still connected to his physical conscious self, and this was his thought pattern, that I have to learn signature cell healing technique, because his path was he's going to do healing from wherever in the angelic realm. Now it's no question about it. He's on the bowl, he's next to the bowl, I feel his presence in Sunday service, and our grandniece says, "Uncle Pete is so busy. He's going all over the world. He's in Angels. He's helping so many people." And now it's like he has a different awareness in his own evolution, his cycle of evolution. And I remember Master Kirill said a long time ago, my thought was angels are evolutionary beings, and all these guys are evolutionary beings. They've got it. And he told us, he said, the more we evolve, we're helping the angels to evolve.
Yeah. Do you know that we have a group of angels?
Yeah.
That's constantly they're I don't want to say low level angels, but those angels that want to have a life here on earth someday, they're watching us because they want to learn. There's a group of angels that's assigned to each one of us. I know that Master Kirill is every time we have an aha, they get to learn, without having to be here, have a third dimensional body. So isn't that cool that we are already teaching and we're not even aware of that? They're watching. So.
Oh, interesting, because when I come to the prayer bowl, I see them as supporting Honolulu Church of Light's mission of heal the self, heal the world, and our individual and our group mission as goddesses. But I didn't think about it as they're angels wanting to come on earth, so they're learning from us.
Yeah.
That's a different perspective that I have, because I always saw the angels as being here to assist us, and I will have a different perspective now. Have a conversation with them.
And I see that as entanglement.
You do.
That all of us were together once. That we are entangled, and that all beings learn from each other. And the dimension
Right.
is
I got that.
immaterial, but all beings learn from each other, and that they are good students. They are good students.
That's interesting. Because
Well, they learn not just they learn from the different emotions that we
Yeah.
express. They want to learn that, but unfortunately, I think they have to experience that before they have the full experience of anger, of the pain, of, all of that. Interesting that.
So here's my question. So as an observer, possible angels wanting to have an earth experience, they can observe us having emotion, but maybe not experiencing the emotion because they're not in physical form.
That's what or the earth is for, the planet. I mean, you see that, you hear that in K-dramas, in C-dramas. We come here, really, truly, we come here to experience emotions, because that, to grow the emotional body. And I'm watching the dramas, right? Hey, Master Kirill said that. And here, there were ancient civilization, the Koreans and the Chinese, and so they come here to learn about even the ETs. Yeah, so we learn it well.
It's interesting because I had my granddaughters for 3 days to give his parents a break from having 2 children. And the 3rd day, at nap time, she cried. And she goes, I want my daddy now, I want my daddy now. And the other 2 days, there was none of that. And I just thought, you miss your daddy. Yes, I want my daddy here now. I want him now. And so here I was trying to soothe her. And as I was soothing her, all these emotions came up. I said, I miss your daddy too. I miss your mommy too. I love your mommy and daddy. But I know they love me and I feel them in my heart. And then in my mind I was going, I miss Peter. I miss Kahu. I miss Rick. I miss Juliet. And and I started crying. And she looked at me. She looked at me. He said, Grandma, are you crying? I said, yeah, I feel sad too. And it's okay to feel sad and cry. And then she touched me. Her tears stopped. She touched me and she gently rubbed my arm with such tenderness. And the tears kept flowing. And I'm thinking like,
what a healing you
my
got.
God.
Teacher,
Yeah.
And then I thought, wow, because she expressed her sadness for not having her daddy there, she allowed me to express my own sadness for missing the loved ones that were not here on the earth plane. And after that, I looked at her and I said, do you feel okay now? And she said yes. And she had a smile. And she said, Grandma, do you feel okay now? And I thought, this is 2.5 years old. Right?
So that's a really good healing, right? You got.
Yeah.
So the interaction, we're all connected.
Yeah.
Amazing, right? So
Cool.
so this paragraph here made me aware of the cycles that the cells within me are causing that are causing these dualities, this conflict within myself. So I'm trying to understand if the cells are working at different cycles, how do we bring them all together?
Harmonize your heart and brain.
We do? Really? Oh, cool.
Because the biomagnetic force of your heart is the strongest power in your body. And if you do that, then it's kind of like you start aligning everyone, and then you start having entrainment. Entrainment is like when you have a tuning fork and you entrain to that tuning fork, you entrain your body that way too.
So doing the toning bowl before Sunday service, we have the
It's
golden
very
bowl,
good. Yeah.
and we have the goddess bowl. So that's a form of entrainment.
Entrainment.
Connecting. I heard that there's a Qigong very simple exercise that activates the, what did you call it?
Biomagnetic force.
Yeah, of your heart. And it's very simple.
Yes, you just put your hand on your heart. You, for a short period of time, you exhale longer than you inhale. So I like to do 5 and 8. Inhale for 5, exhale for 8. Breathing through your nose, out your mouth. And then think of something that makes you smile or be in gratitude or something like that, and you switch. And the more you do it, the quicker it takes for you to get in that place.
I like this last sentence. The cells will fight you until the very death, to let you know that they are part of this whole. Isn't that cool? So if you have a dis-ease part of your body, so that means what? What does that mean to you?
Say that again.
A disease part of your body,
Dis-ease,
dis-ease, a part of your body that's in dis-ease. Okay, no matter what, maybe brain or whatever, heart issue. So do you go to that part and what? And what do you do to heal that based on the cycle? Based on cycles.
Your intention is for healing, yes? And so for me, I would harmonize my heart and my brain and then go to that area and talk to it. And then see what information you get, because there's potential that you put in your God cell an experience that would allow you to an experience that would allow you to jump the cycle, to jump to the next cycle. And that experience might be something that you wanted to have in order for you to age your soul. So it's kind of like it's hard to answer that question, because there are a lot of variables that come into the proposal. And so when you have many variables, then you need to consider all aspects. But if you have that discussion, then it allows you to think more broadly. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Isn't it magical? No,
It's fun.
It's going back to Kahu and Master Kirill. It was kind of like, I remember when we first started on the healing journey, we learned all these healing modalities, and Kahu said, there's got to be a simpler way of dealing with this, of healing. And then he said, somewhere along the way, it's the signature cell. You know, even though he had the techniques, but the simplicity of the signature cell, starting with the signature cell. And later on, the evolution was to send the light through the vagus nerve and nervous system. But the simplicity of that, and I remember he said, he was human. I'm human. When I get pain, I think, oh no, do I have cancer in this part of my body? He said. And he goes to the worry, he said to us. And then he remembered, oh, wait a minute, I can breathe. So he shared that he would breathe. It might take more than 5, but he would breathe, and then lo and behold, the pain went away. So that concept of this evolving, the gliding path of cells that are constantly evolving, just returning to love. And what if the simplicity is on the breath? You know, he did all the techniques, but he always said, focus on the breath. And as he was training Reverend Rick and I to assist in helping others learn about signature cell, he always told us, remember to breathe. It's not just about the techniques. Remember to prana breathe. And so that's the simplicity, you know, because if indeed our cells know, we just remember to breathe. The simplicity of
So,
breathe.
yeah,
And,
so then
to
the
activate the
simplicity
love.
of breathing, what does that mean to you?
To calm down and feel the calmness. And no matter what tool, it's returning to the heart center. And the calmness to bring us to our heart center so we can feel the love within. I mean, that's a simplicity. I'm thinking like, oh, okay, I'm trying this, I'm trying that, you know. But in all that I'm trying, it's about the breath and the feeling of love and trusting the signature cell to guide us through our evolution, through our cycles of awareness. So I wrote down in the notes about people with chronic pain. I'm dealing with chronic ear situation. So I said, what's that all about? You
Off
know.
your cycle.
Huh? Why does it come up? And when does it come up?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Then you have to pay attention to that cycle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You could do it that way. Now that we know about cycles, so you have to pay attention. When does it bother you? You know, what happens? And I think from your awareness today, you probably will find a cure for yourself.
Well, originally, I have to go to the doctor, I have to get antibiotics again. And after the last time I had the antibiotic, that I got sicker taking the antibiotics because my doctor said, this is really strong now. You don't have to take it for 10 days, you only take it for 5 days. And I got so sick that I said, never again, you know. And, you know, I manage, it's the so-called chronic earache, to take a look what's going on. What is a cycle? And I literally
Very good.
saw 2 months ago that feeling of jumping the cycle to the next cycle.
Bringing that pain, that issue with you to the next cycle?
That the congestion in the ear was relieved within the day.
Wow.
When you jump the cycle.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was, and part of it is the awareness of what
Oh.
was going on, what my cells were talking to me about. So now it's here again, and I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? All right, okay, you know. So,
Well, good luck.
yeah.
The magic of signature cell healing.
You know what I really like about harmonizing the heart and the brain? So in your heart, there's 40,000 specific cells that are sensory neurites. And then in your brain, we have neurons. And these are the little messenger guys that go all over the place. When you harmonize your heart and your brain, to me, you're harmonizing your heart, that power of your heart, that electromagnetic power of your heart, with the signature cell in your brain. And when you pull them together, then you actually become the glorious human being that all of us are. And then from that perspective, you have far more options than you had without it. And to have those additional options is very cool because you can choose joy.
Oh my God, I just remembered Reverend Carol said years ago, signature cell healing opens up more options for your life. But the
I agree with her. Good job.
Simplicity of that, I went, oh, okay. Electromagnetic part of the heart. Heart, right? Not brain.
Heart.
Gail, you have any input?
But I got an input from Sandra.
Hi,
Okay,
Sandra.
hi.
Okay, I'll read that. Hi, I myself feel that Aldine should be able to contribute to raising the level of truth in the medical field by just continuing to keep in mind and accept that relatively slow pace of change.
Okay.
So
Oh.
she said more specifically, many medical personnel understand that there is a connection between the mind and the body. Yeah.
I agree. Thank you, Sandra.
In the educational field, I became aware because I wasn't satisfied with what I was hearing and reading, and I became aware that we need to look at the whole child, just like we need to look at the whole person. And it was a social, emotional, intellectual, physical, spiritual, and some others. But then later on, I said to Kahu, "Oh, it fits with the four bodies." You know, so, and the teachers could say, "Yeah, I believe that we're helping the physical body develop and grow. I believe we're helping the intellectual. Yes, I believe it's important to do the creativity and the social emotional." But I wasn't seeing how some of the teachers were nurturing the emotional part of the child. Because they would say, "Stop crying, don't cry."
Well,
You know.
maybe it's not their job.
Well, this is the
I
thing.
think, could it be that education field just to teach reading, writing? Well, then that's the old. That's
Yeah.
the old. So that's what we had. You had to change.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
why.
it's not there yet.
Yeah.
We're changing the cycle of education.
Well, there
So-
was the spiritual aspect, which teachers were not embracing because they saw spiritual as religion. So I did a workshop that said, no, we can see spiritual as religious teaching, but the way I see it is the spirit of the child, which is the heart, which has to do with the creativity.
Which is it only the heart? Is the wholeness?
It's the wholeness, but this is how I explained it to them. And it was kind of like I said, if you do things that nullifies their spirit, we're not going to know their true self. But if you do things by focusing on the whole child with all the other things, the four bodies and the social emotional aspect, then you get to see the whole potential of the child. And just like by focusing on the four bodies, we see the whole potential of healing possibilities. You know, so that was something that I worked on in terms of helping other teachers and parents understand that I'm not here as a teacher to just teach them reading, writing, and things like that, counting. Yes, it's wonderful that they can count, but do they understand the concept of what 5 means and what 10 means? They do rote counting, but they don't understand the concept behind, you know, what the quantity is. So that was the whole thing, and focusing on the four bodies. That is looking at the evolution of ourselves in multiple dimensional ways to understand who our true self is.
I think the kids nowadays they're coming in, at least the ones with our niece and nephew, they know a lot about. They're coming in with more brain power than ever before. So I think that's the cycle, another cycle. That yes, we came in after the World War II, right? So we had to go through all this experiences, but now they're coming in with more brain power, more heart energy, and they're changing the world. They're changing me, that I don't even have to worry about them anymore. They're so heart oriented. I don't have to worry. because they know. They beat me sometimes. As far as, you know, they're so fast. They think so fast. Like Kimmy and Kaizen, amazing, are really amazing. So I don't worry about them. What I owe them is my truth, my heart's truth. Would you say, my wholeness of truth, and that's what we do for the kids now, and that's what makes a difference. Not just for the kids, for the people that we meet, you know, every day. You walking down the street, at the gas station, you can change your demeanor at a restaurant. You know, I love to talk to the waiter, because when you talk to them from your truth, they change and they give you more service. And the last time I went, I remember you from the last time, and then automatically they give me better service. So to me, that's what the Goddess Light is about. We make a difference in their life, and then they in turn will make a difference in their life too, no matter what cycle of life they're in. So so now I understand that everything can be healed in love. I really truly understand that. If when I have something happening to me, automatic my heart brain goes, oh, you can heal that. And in a matter of 3 days, it's healed, you know? So, yeah. So isn't that what you call a joyful way to live?
Yes.
And I think this next paragraph is what you're talking about, Aldine. Every living being on earth exists within the vibration of your very existence. Each and every one of you reading these words, hearing these words, weave every being on earth together now. Weave them with your heartbeat and know what I am about to say. No one exists without you. Hence, you have the choice of experiencing love. Once you've chosen love, you share it with one another, and you'll recognize the truth that you are not alone, but are one of all that is. And as one of all that is, you are guided to a heartbeat of life. You must read, and then to read more, please get the book, Lemurian Legacy for the Great Shift, Chapter 9, Shifting into New Cycles. I think for me, this chapter has been very, very important. It has expanded my awareness to understand. Now I'm not afraid to go out into the world.
You know, I have a metaphor for just that last paragraph. I do water Tai Chi and land Tai Chi, and when you do water Tai Chi, one of the things that the teacher says is, know that your motions in the water affects every other person that's in the water. And so when, as a group, we move in unison, the water is very smooth and calm, and we can create this energetic feeling that everyone's moving together, and it's very uplifting. And when your partner is not in alignment with the motion of the rest of the group, you can feel the differences in that water pressure.
Very nice.
And that's metaphoric for exactly what it says, right? So take water Tai Chi. It's very cool.
So has it improved your relationship with people?
Yeah.
Awesome.
We have a very nice little community, but it's really fun. And because you're moving energy, the expression of your dance, I think, helps to heal the world.
Absolutely. I like that.
Well, I'm
So-
thinking about
so
your chants.
wait,
how that
say,
moves energy.
we have to close right now.
That's right. Sorry.
So the question of the day was, can we release the DNA codes regarding cycles of aging puberty, menopause, and the length of time action within the body with signature cell? And the answer is
Yes.
definitely yes. Awesome. Huh. Don't you feel energized because we had this session together?
Expanded brain.
Yeah.
So it's been an honor to Kahu and Kiro and to take part in today's discussion. You each may have different understanding of the topic, but boy, I mean, it's expanded my thoughts on what cycles can do and why we need to be aware of it. I would like, anyway. So thank you for the privilege of your time you have taken to evolve your love and light. It takes a community of like-minded people, yes, to shift humanity into the fourth light, starting with the cell itself. So I can feel the fourth dimension just, weaving into my reality much. And since I've been doing the weaving my five senses together to have the sixth sense moving within me. So that's amazing. I already did that, right? We already were doing that. We were not aware. So this program was just to make you aware that you have working. Wait, is it correct? Working cycles working with you and against you. Against you, because if you go within, if you know that the cycle's working for you, then you be in synchronicity with them, and the life would get better, right? If you know all of this.
Discover joy.
Discover joy, she says. Together, let us continue our quest as conscious creators to deepen our understanding of the healing powers of collective oneness of the heart as we collectively stand in our truth, trust, and spirited passion. We shift our world, our personal world, and our planet Earth. Remember, what we see with our physical eye isn't everything that we know today, right? For sure. So every day, take your five senses and weave them together until they magically thread. The magical thread called the sixth sense is part of your beingness. It's now time to experience your world through the five senses, six senses, to hold peace and tranquility, joy. Is that peace and tranquility equals joy? Even through challenging times, we are in the great shift in consciousness. Join us April 7th for the next Sunday healing at the Beauty. Our healing focus will be meditation for the four energetic body of humankind. We invite you to send your healing requests to the info@honoluluchurchoflight.com, where they will be prayed over every night at 11:30 by the divine unseen forces of light in their magnificent truth and the goddesses here at the Beauty. Okay, so I suggest you get the book, Lemurian Legacy for the Great Shift, and I know that just reading the book will also expand your awareness about who you are and what you're doing here. So love makes us peaceful and prosperous and joyful. Remember to imagine a beautiful world for yourself, your family, and friends. Your imagination is a preview of your life's coming attraction. We wish you many opportunities to say amazing grace during this great shift in consciousness, even through this challenging time. Kahu Fred Sterling loved each day for the enlightenment he received. Please do the same. From the mountaintops of ancient Lemuria, aloha and mahalo for your blessings of light and love. Thank you on behalf of our goddess community here at the Beauty, Kahu Fred Sterling, Master Guide Kiriel. Celebrate your truth, trust, and passion through your actions and word. We love you so much. Take care with joy. Aloha.
Happy Easter!
Oh, yes, it's Easter.